Tonight's story comes from Reddit user MrUnheimlich. It is a very well-written and emotionally driven piece of horror that builds its tension slowly and carefully. Because of that, I tried to pay special attention to the delivery and tone, so the narration reflects the feeling of the original story as closely as possible. Full credit goes to the author, and you can find a link to the original story in the description below. Now, let's begin. I live in an old New England town. Legend has it that for 300 years, it has been haunted by Zuriel the witch. We learn about Zuriel on school grounds. Older kids teach the younger, voices low and eyes glimmering. She will knock on your door in the form of a traveler asking for a glass of water. You will know it's her because despite claiming that she is terribly thirsty, she will not touch the water you offer her. There are 5 rules you must follow when Zuriel knocks on your door. 1. You must let her in. 2. You must be friendly at all times. 3. You must not show that you are afraid of her. 4. You must not let her out of your sight. 5. You must not let her pass the first room of your house. When someone dies in a domestic accident, whispers circulate that they received a visit from Zuriel and didn't follow the rules. Some claim to have met her and survived, but because she changes appearance every time, accounts are impossible to verify. Many grown-ups would deny believing in Zuriel, but when entering a house in our town, one will usually find a glass and bottle of water kept by the front door, just in case a stranger stops by. I am a skeptic, or rather, I used to be until recently. Sure, Zuriel scared me as a child. When I heard someone knocking at my parents' door, I would run to my room and lock myself in. Zuriel never came. As I got older, I did my research on her. It turns out that a woman by the name of Zuriel really lived in our town. According to historical records, she was a spinster of most ill-favored countenance, who lived alone at the edge of the woods. Long suspected of being troubled by an unclean spirit, she was much disliked by the townsfolk. They complained that she continually intruded upon their property. In 1734, after Zuriel had not been seen for weeks, a pious old woman went to check on her. She found Zuriel's decomposing body lying in her shed, her throat cut almost to the bone. Although some young men had been heard declaring they would rid the town of the foul witch, they were never prosecuted. This haunting nonsense was the result of a sad page of history, I concluded. After I married and moved into a new house with my husband, he insisted on keeping a glass and a bottle of water by the front door. I did not want to, but I figured it wasn't a matter worth fighting over. Last Friday at around 3 p.m., I had just put my son down for a nap when I heard knocking at the door. I absent-mindedly opened the door to a woman of about 40 whom I had never seen before. She was in hiking clothes. Not surprising, the area is known for its nature trails. "Hi, can I help you?" "Hi, I'm so sorry to bother you." A stylish bob encircled her pleasant face. Even with sweat perling on her forehead, she looked polished. I thought she must have come from a big city. "May I ask you for a glass of water? My bottle is empty and I am so very thirsty." She smiled at me apologetically. A hiker asking for a glass of water. That's it. You must let her in. "Of course. Please, come in." "Oh, that's so kind of you. Are you sure I'm not bothering you?" "No bother at all." She bashfully walked through the door I held open for her. A split-second thought crossed my mind. Slam the door in her face. I didn't, of course. In the blink of an eye, the hiker was inside my house. She hovered by the entrance politely. I turned towards the kitchen, then remembered the glass and water bottle sitting right next to me. You must not let her out of your sight. Well, why not? As I poured the water, she glided from the entrance to the couch and sat down. I did not like that. She must have noticed because a flicker of guilt tightened her features. You must be friendly at all times. I responded with a bright smile, handing her the glass. That's when I noticed that she had no backpack, no pouch, not even a water bottle. I took a deep breath to push down the panic that had started swelling up. I sat in front of her. "You've been hiking?" I chirped. "I just did the mountain loop," she replied enthusiastically. "It was so pretty." Without drinking any of it, she set the glass on her lap. "It's one of my favorites," I responded. Her fingers gripped the glass. She didn't drink it. "And it's such a nice day today," I continued. "It was lovely, almost too hot." Her face beamed with sweat. A drop rolled from her forehead to her chin. It fell into her lap. She still did not drink. My eyes snapped up to her. She was staring at me, staring at her. "You must be friendly at all times." I laughed a horrendous laugh. "Yeah, I love it when it's hot." She laughed along. Inside me, the adult woman disappeared, and I became that little girl who wanted to lock herself in her room again. "Have you been in the area before?" I asked, forcing my voice to sound even. "It's my first time visiting," she responded cheerfully. "Have you been living here long?" "I was born here," I said. Then, fearing I was lacking in amiability, I exclaimed, "Wouldn't want to live anywhere else?" "Of course, such a lovely place, and everyone seems so nice." Her gaze shifted to a framed photo of me, my husband, and my son. "What a cutie," she whispered, narrowing her eyes. Revulsion twisted my stomach. Smash the frame in her face, I thought. I didn't, of course. I sat perfectly still and pushed out a timid, "Thank you." She turned to me with a proud smile. "You know, I have a son the same age. He's with his dad now. Unfortunately, we're divorced, but we maintain a good friendship. That's so important for a child." "Oh, yeah, so important," I stammered, taken aback. She stood up, leaving the glass on the coffee table. "Well, so sorry for bothering you. I'll be on my way before it gets dark." A wave of relief rushed through me. "Of course, no bother at all." She trotted to the front door. I had to stifle a laugh. Awoken from a bad dream, I was back in the land of the living. "Hope you enjoy the rest of your trip." Her hand pushed down the door handle, then let it back up. "One last thing," she said. "May I use your restroom?" Cold dread enveloped me before her words even reached my brain. "You must not let her pass the first room of your house." "I'm sorry, but the restroom is out of order." "Is that so?" she asked, as she breezed right back to the seat in front of me. "Why?" My pulse went wild. "It's clogged. We've had an awkward accident earlier." I cackled. She winked. "Whoops. I can have a look if you'd like. I'm pretty savvy with small repairs." "Oh no, you don't have to. There's a public restroom right across the street, in the park." I pointed at the window. My hand trembled. It was already dark outside. That was impossible. Sunset was supposed to be hours away, and she hadn't been in my house for more than a few minutes. "I would love to repay your hospitality," she insisted, eyes wide and eager. "My husband is about to come home from work. He will do it. You know men." I leaned towards her, displaying the most conniving smile I could muster. "They like to feel useful." She played along. "I get it. Since my husband left, I've had to learn to do it all by myself." "I admire your independence." "Thank you for saying that. It means a lot." She seemed genuinely flattered. I was not doing too bad, I thought. A piercing cry arose from upstairs. "Mommy!" My son had woken up. He is an anxious baby. At 2 years old, he has only just started to sleep on his own. Whenever he wakes up and doesn't find us, he goes into a panic. I almost shot from my seat, but managed to reel myself back in. "Don't you want to go to him?" she asked me gently. "You must not let her out of your sight." "That's okay. He needs to get used to it." Mommy! He had a way of sounding like something absolutely terrible was happening, which it was. Mommy! His voice broke, but he kept on screaming. What if he was actually hurt? She sat perfectly still, grinning at me. Are you sure he's okay? Her question sounded somewhat like a threat. You must not let her out of your sight. I nodded vigorously. We're training him to sleep on his own. Listening to the pleas of my hurting baby was near unbearable. I reminded myself of all the people, all the children, who had died in tragic circumstances. He broke his neck tripping down the stairs. She choked on her food. The little one drank from a bottle of bleach. They were visited by Zuriel, the rumors always said, and they didn't follow the rules. I've never seen a mother like you, she said. I ignored the provocation. How about your little one? I had to raise my voice over my son's cries. Does he sleep on his own? She lit up at the mention of her child. He sleeps like an angel. My daughter, on the other hand, is like yours. She wanted to be held all the time. You have a daughter too? Yes, I do, she snapped, as if I was doubting her. My son abruptly went silent. That alarmed me even more. Why did he stop? I furiously wanted to go check on him. See, I said instead, he calmed down. You're a very interesting woman, she responded, and shuffled forward. Her knees almost touched mine. I'm really enjoying getting to know you. I did not budge, swallowing my disgust. Me too. It's nice to see a new face around here. Maybe, I jumped into the abyss. Maybe we could be friends. Her eyebrows shot up, her eyes widened, her lips parted. I would love that, she breathed. A rush of emotion flushed her cheeks. A web of red veins flared beneath her skin, then began to swell, morphing into elongated red warts. You must not show that you are afraid of her. What did you think of the hike? I spluttered, desperate to fill the silence. It was amazingly lovely, she trilled, while one of her eyes turned gray. What else do you suggest I do in the area? I held on to that question like a life raft. If you love nature, I would recommend the National Wildlife Refuge and paddleboarding on the river. Her hair vanished one by one, leaving only a few disheveled clumps on a bald head. You must not show that you are afraid of her. A walk downtown is great for shopping. Aunt Rita's kitchen serves the best clam chowder in town. Her teeth blackened. Strands of yellow saliva stretched between the upper and lower arcade. I waged war against every one of my muscles to not look away. For culture lovers, the local museum has great artifacts. One side of her face went moldy. A worm wriggled out of her ear and slid inside her eye socket. I smiled hard. And let's not forget the Civil War battleground. A slit appeared on her throat, from side to side. Dark blood came pouring out, inundating her clothes, my couch, my carpet. Her head fell backwards. The wound was spread apart like two halves of a steak, exposing her sliced-off windpipe. Only a thin layer of skin kept the head from rolling away. Yet, from an absurd angle, her one eye was still set on me. My smile did not falter. You can always catch a performance at the Arts Center. The lights flickered. My personal favorites are the dance shows. All the lights went out with a pop, except the overhead light. It flickered desperately. The thought of being alone in the dark with her was so terrifying, my heart nearly stopped. You must not show that you are afraid of her. I thought about my son sleeping peacefully in his crib. The sun rising on the ocean. A fluffy kitten drinking from a bowl of milk. For drinks, there's a little bar by the river, The lights went out. I opened my mouth to scream. In the blink of an eye, the lights came back on. I sucked in the scream before it could ring out. You must not show that you are afraid of her. She looked like a preppy 40-year-old lady hiker again. No sign of a neck wound. Her clothes were clean. So were my couch and carpet. Outside, the day was bright again. I allowed myself a breath of relief. Maybe this was it. I passed the test. She would be gone now. Thank you for that, she said softly. Since there's so much to do around here, maybe I should stay a few more days. My throat tightened. What a great idea. She looked around the room pensively. Do you have a guest room? I would love to stay if you'll have me. Despair hooked its fingers into my insides. We don't have a guest room, unfortunately. I would have loved to have you stay with us. That's a shame. What if I slept on the couch? I would not want you to be uncomfortable. I don't need much. This looks perfectly comfortable. My son is a rambunctious kid. So, didn't I tell you I am a mom too? Yes. You don't believe me? Yes, of course. I was losing ground, and I felt my energy leaving me. It almost sounds like you're making up excuses not to have me. Didn't you say you wanted to be friends? Yes, of course. Mommy. I had not heard him come in. My son was standing in the doorframe. He clutched his teddy bear, chubby cheeks streaked with dried-up tears. She looked just as startled as I was. He must have climbed out of his toddler bed, I said, forcing cheerfulness. I held out my arms to him. Honey, come here. Instead, he directed his unsteady little feet towards her. You must not show that you are afraid of her. Hello, little man, she exclaimed, baring her teeth at him. I was now trembling from head to toe. She stretched out her hand and wiggled her long-nailed fingers. My son wobbled closer to her. I wanted to scream, yank him away from her, run. But because I didn't know what the right thing to do was, I sat still, paralyzed. You must not show that you are afraid of her. Would you like me to stay here with you? She said in a cringe-worthy baby voice. No, no, say no, I yelled inside my head. My son gave her a toothless smile. That smile of pure delight only little children are capable of. She widened her grin, pushed her demonic hand further towards him. The room around me started shaking. Every nerve in my body twisted. My son put his teddy bear in her outstretched hand, like a friendship offering. Time stopped. Her mouth trembled, smile morphing into a sorrowful grimace. She gripped the teddy bear and brought it to her heart. Finally, she let out a long, painful breath. I am sure your child wants his mommy to himself, she finally murmured. I'll be on my way. She slowly rose and set the teddy bear on the couch. It was great to have. Thank you for your kindness. She ever so lightly stroked my hand with her fingers. And then, just as swiftly as she came, she was gone. It's been 7 days since she visited. I've been watching my husband and son like a hawk, expecting them to trip, fall, get burned, or some other terrible thing. No one got hurt. Life is beginning to feel normal again. But around 3 p.m. every afternoon, I feel a pang of pain on my hand, right where she touched me.